No audio? Does it work now? Can you hear me, guys? Hello? I'm not sure why it was turned off. So, I hope the chat will catch up in a second, but I was just saying that I'm really grateful for all your positive comments and reactions to Cold Stars and for streaming the song on your favorite streaming platforms, on Spotify and on whatever you're listening to music to. And thank you for watching the video on YouTube, of course. So you guys are just really awesome, and even more awesome other people who have supported our Ad Astra crowdfunding campaign already. You guys just have been an incredible support for many years, most of you, but there are some new people, and I'm also really happy to see you all support our music, with your donations and with your positive reactions and comments. It really, really means the world to me. It's just why I do this thing, to see that you guys enjoy what I do. And if you want to be a part of this crowdfunding campaign and become a part of Ad Astra and get this nice, beautiful star and all the other cool rewards that we offer, you can find them in the commissions on my Ko-fi page, or you can just leave a tip, or you can just share it with your friends. Maybe somebody will be interested. Okay. Hey guys. So nice to see you all here. So I wanted to show you how I made the Cold Stars video. And you can leave all your questions in the chat, and I will get to them in a moment. Oh, hello. Hi, Marina. But for a moment now, I'm gonna switch into Russian, just like for a quick second, to check if anybody needs me to translate. Вот, привет, ребят! Если кто-то вдруг не понимает по-английски, что я говорю, вы, пожалуйста, напишите. Я тогда буду переводить еще и по-русски. Но если все и так понятно, то я тогда буду сразу говорить на одном языке, чтобы просто мы не тратили много времени на то, чтобы я повторяю одно и то же. Просто в двух вариантах. Вот. И еще, если вы находитесь в России, то вы можете задонатить на наш альбом Ad Astra через Яндекс.Музыку. Там ссылка на наши страницы артиста или ссылка в комментарии. Вот. Я, к сожалению, не знаю, если вы не пишете в комментарии, кто донатит. Поэтому, если вы хотите задонатить крупную сумму, там от 1000 рублей, можно оставить комментарий. Вы тогда там напишите, пожалуйста, ваше имя и желательно ссылку ВКонтакте, чтобы мы с вами могли связаться и всякие ништяки и спасибо вам выдать. We understand. Yes, beautiful, beautiful. It's so nice that I don't have to translate. Но если вдруг кто-то русскоговорящий появится, вы там сигнализируйте. So just in case anybody Russian-speaking shows up, I will be ready to switch. So, I wrote Cold Stars actually about 3.5 years ago at this moment. And it was so just the beginning of 2022. And I already had this visual idea for the setting that I wanted for this song. And I had this image of a canyon or a desert and a huge starry sky above, just like we got in the final video. And I actually, traveled Google Earth and Google Maps, and I found this image. I think it's from the Moab Desert. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And I actually showed it to my patrons like around that time. And obviously we couldn't travel there. to film. We would have spent like all our savings and the whole budget for the album just to get there. So we had to figure out how to build a virtual environment with a similar setting. And luckily, there are websites that have information about the height of landscapes, and you can get an image like this. It's a height map. So the higher the terrain, the lighter the color. And then you can import it into Unreal Engine, and it will build a terrain for you from this image. So we got this landscape, right? There aren't many, details or like specific features, but it's kind of similar. Let me show you compared to the original photo, right? It looks really, really similar to the actual photo. Of course, there are some issues with the scale of the thing. But I think if we were to preserve the actual scale, we wouldn't have seen this like a canyon view that goes to the horizon. But we would have gotten like a plain with some sand and with some, maybe rocks there. So in Unreal Engine, I didn't really bother to match it that much, and I just wanted to have this idea. So it's not like one-to-one. And in our version in Unreal, I'm sorry it's a dark image, but I hope you get the idea. It looks like the canyon walls, these rocks or messes or whatever you call it, they're kind of closer and not as high as they actually are, but it all contributes to the image that I had in mind. And so let's see one more time the original and the Unreal Engine. So again, the structure is kind of the same, but the scale is different. But again, Unreal Engine is a pretty cool thing, and you can add a lot of details there, and all of this vegetation and small rocks and all like whatever you want to add to your setting. But unfortunately, some details are not exactly like photorealistic. So I also upscaled the image and kind of retextured it in an AI. So here is the Unreal Engine view, and here is a little bit like of an improvement from an AI. I also like combined the two images, so the bushes in the front, they're actually from Unreal because it did some weird AI things with it. But I think that the canyon itself looks much better. Even though, again, I'm sorry, it's such a dark scene that you can't probably make out that many details. But of course, then I needed somehow to import it into After Effects so I could composite it with our actual footage. And I talked about it already in like the making of Songs of Ice video. There is another AI that converts a 2D image into 3D objects. It's called Zoe, Zoe Depth, I think. And so you upload an image on the left and you get this weird structure on the right. But when you import it into After Effects and use a correct like lens in the virtual camera, so it has the right angle and right focal length, you get again the same image as before, so this one in this case. And then you can move the camera and it will move, pretty naturally with the environment. So a little bit to the left will give you a little bit like a parallax effect, so that the front moves like almost separately from the back. You get the idea. So it gives you a 3D effect. And then, of course, we can combine it with the real footage that we film. And we filmed, again, everybody except for Sergey in my room here. And we filmed the Sergey and the drums at our rehearsal space. Well, because we have the drums there. And there's more space, to fit it all. Окей. Когда изобретут телепорт, да, это вопрос. When will they invent a teleport? Yeah, I'm really, really waiting for it. Your attention to detail is impressive and result is testimony to your hard work. Thank you so much, John. I'm really glad it, translates. So, now to the green screen, or in this case, it's actually a blue screen. Here is a part of the image that I filmed of myself for this particular scene. And I don't have a blue carpet yet, so I used the green one from before. But it's still pretty easy to cut it out because it's like green and there's nothing else that's green in the scene. And in this case, the blue background that we used was actually better and worked to our advantage, especially with, like reflective surfaces like the guitars and the cymbals and like the shiny things on the drums, the drum stands and all the things that have kind of shiny reflective surface. In the end, the blue backgrounds kind of blended well with the background that we composed it with, so because there's like blue sky, right? It's all kind of in the same family of colors, so to say. So, of course, here's the first image, and then I had to cut out the blue screen and green screen, or green carpet, or whatever you want to call it. And then I put myself into the setting that I made with all the previous tools, and then made some color adjustments so it looks more like I'm there. And there's like a final polish. It's made with a plugin called Supercomp. There's a lot of like different tools that it combines, and it gives a really nice result. So it all blends together really nicely. But I guess we've already explored all these tools and techniques before, like with our previous videos. And your main question would be how I made the star spectre that represents Liv in this video. And that was probably the most challenging part, because it took just a ton of time to render each scene, and there are like 100-something scenes in this video, and the ones that don't have the star spectre rendered pretty quickly, but the ones that had this effect, this entity, they took a ton of time to render, even more so than it usually takes, obviously. So like a 2-second clip would take like 40-45 minutes to render. And not just to export it when I was already finished, but even just tweaking some settings, moving some things around, it would take like a ton of time to just generate a preview. It was such a pain in the butt, let me tell you. So, how was it actually made? It takes this much time to do it because it's actually 3D as well. And so I needed to find a 3D model that I wanted to use in this video to represent Liv. I wanted like a female figure, obviously, in some flowy dress, like so it's kind of split at the thighs, so I could show that there's some movement in the legs or some poses in the legs. Not sure how to say it. So I had like a specific idea of how I wanted it to look, and I found this 3D model on Unreal Engine Market, I think. So there's a lot of going on here. There's a bit too much. I didn't want the wings, and I didn't want this halo thing around her head, and some of accessories were too much. And of course, it's obviously very, very sexualized representation of an angel. So not quite what we were looking for. But fortunately, again, Real Engine is pretty flexible and you can do a lot of things. So I imported the model into Unreal, and I didn't bother adding all the colored textures. That's why it's so like just gray with some weird squares on it. So I just needed basically the 3D thing, not the colors. And then I modified it a bit. So this model is pretty gifted in the chest region, as you can see, and I reduced it quite a bit. I also removed the halo and the wings and some accessories. So that was now the base of the animations that I used in the video. And there were some weird things going on when I had to like import and export this model from one software to another. For some reason, you can't export a 3D model from Unreal in a certain format that the plugin that I used in After Effects accepted. So I had to first export the model from Unreal, import it into I don't remember, either Blender or Cinema 4D, one of those, and then export it in the correct format and import it into the plugin in After Effects. And in this process, for some reason, the part of the model that shows the dress, like the skirt part, just disappeared, right? I was like wrecking my brain for a couple of days. Well, like, how could I fix it? And it turned out that this software didn't communicate the cloth physics between themselves well. And so I had to assign different attributes to this cloth in Unreal, so I could transfer them into other programs and use it there. And I actually used this trick to remove other parts of this model. For example, this model is actually very detailed. It has like teeth actually in the mouth and tongue and eyeballs and many different small meshes that made the chain that goes on the chest of this model. And I couldn't remove them by themselves in Unreal because of Unreal reasons. And so I just assigned them to be cloth in Unreal. So they would disappear in other software and won't interfere with the starry image that I wanted to build from them. Yeah, so a little bit of a workaround here. I bet nobody got what I was saying about it just now. But, if there are some nerdy nerds, you will get what I'm saying. Okay, so then I posed this model. I actually did the animation manually in Unreal, and there wasn't that much movement that I wanted. I actually tried doing a motion capture, so mocap, from videos, and I found some tools, AIs, and all the different kinds that could translate the movement that you make in the video and transfer them to a 3D model. But I found that there was just too much unnecessary motion that didn't work well with this whole star situation that I was going on. They were just flickering too much because they were moving, and there were like weird trails from all these small motions. So I decided to just stick to manual animation and post this model the way I wanted. When she needed to lift the hands, I lifted the hands, and etc., etc. But then, like I said, I needed it to get imported into a plugin in After Effects, and this plugin is called what's it called? Trapcode Particular. Right. So this is how it looks. Like, there's many different parts of this animation here, slightly different phases of motion and such, and some of them I just used to test it, not actually in the video. I actually tried to animate like lip movement, so this star spectre could potentially be lip syncing the lyrics, but again with this slowly moving stars, it just didn't work well. It was just a mess, so I didn't actually have to animate and lip sync this model, which was a plus because it would have taken also a lot of time. There are also some pretty cool new AI tools that can do it, but I'm actually glad that I didn't need them. Nerdy nerds do totally get that. One demon genius trick. Thank you! Yay, nerdy nerds! Okay, so this is how you choose a model in particular. There are all those settings. You can use different kinds of particles, but I chose these kind of bluish stars that were actually built in this plugin. So it's kind of a preset. I tweaked it a little bit, and here's how it looks like on a bigger screen. That's how it looks in its like native composition in After Effects. And then, of course, I needed a scene where this star spectre appears. And here we go. Here I'm greeting the star spectre. And of course, it looks a little bit different from the end result. And that's because I actually used some, again, compositing tools, the same plugin, Super Comp, and added some glow effect to these small stars. And I think that's really the thing that literally makes it shine and that gives it all the magic. And there is also a little bit of color correction with the lights. So, it's like the light of the star spectre actually shines on me. So I actually had to animate it manually as well. But again, since there wasn't that much motion, it wasn't too complicated, just moving a blob of light like around me. So, yeah. And so, yeah, the nice thing about this plugin is that you don't just put a static 3D model into your scene, but an actually animated, moving one. And there were some issues with the formats, as I mentioned, and this plugin is really tricky to make it work and actually eat the frigging model that I wanted to, use. But when it worked, and I was really, really happy that it turned out the way it did. Yeah. And actually, at first, we weren't sure how we could include Liv into this video. Because obviously, again, it would have been too expensive to travel to film her, or for her to travel here and for us to film her here in Moscow, and all the complicated situation in the world and all that stuff. We actually thought that maybe we could give like some instructions to some studio that could film her, but complicated, expensive stuff. So I think we settled on the idea that she would be some ethereal presence in our video, maybe like a hologram, like, Star Wars style. So we could, talk to her and she would shine from like some device or something. But in the end, I think this image actually works better with the whole idea of the song. And it actually like translates the idea of distance and separation and longing in the video, and makes it more real and like more emotional. So I really like how it turned out, even though it took like a ton of time to actually make it work and then to render it and all the good stuff. And I'm actually going to make a lyric video next for this song and use the same technique, but just with the lyrics, like it's like in the beginning of the video, with the titles like Alexandrite featuring Liv Christine and, the title of the song. So I will probably get to it tomorrow and start making the lyric video, and it will be up hopefully next Friday or maybe next weekend. We'll see. What else? I showed you the like a short video from the making of Cold Stars with me spinning, and there's also a kind of funny detail. So here's me, and it's just like, I'm not sure what you call it. It's like a spinning discus. It's supposed to be used in like exercises and balance training and such. But if you spin hard enough, like if you push yourself from something, you can actually not just move your body like in a half circle, but make a couple of full circles, which looks pretty cool, I think. And here is, of course, how it looks in the video I published. So we spin, we then remove the background and add some effects and color grade it and color grade it a little bit again, and you get the final result. These glowing stars that's going on around me were also made in the same plugin that I mentioned. Are we back? Yay! Are we back? Yay! I think it's working again. I'm sorry, guys. I think my VPN just died. I don't know if you know. Obviously, if you're Russia, you know. In Russia, you know. But if you're in other countries, YouTube is actually blocked here, and that's why I need to use a VPN to post videos and watch videos and to stream, and it just disconnected for some reason at the moment. I'm not sure like exactly when it happened, so if you need me to repeat something, please let me know. So yeah, spinning was fine, and it was a fun part of this whole production thing. There's also another kind of funny scene when it looks like it's top-down view, like this one, and I'm spinning here again. But I actually wanted to film it like from high up above, and again spin with this straining discus or whatever it's called. But unfortunately, I don't have any mounts on the ceiling, and I had no stands that were high enough to get a camera up there and have me standing. So I just decided to lie down for a moment. Yeah, so I'm just laying down here and again just cut it all out and then animate it and make me spin again. So yeah, lots of funny stuff there. All right. So I guess I talked about all the technical details, and let me know if you have any more questions about the song or about the video or about whatever, about the crowdfunding and the album. And I'm just going to have a sip of tea. Sorry. So also spin doctor now. Yeah. More like a spin trainer, staying fit and all that. Maybe, I should actually spin a little bit more often on this thing because it's supposed to be good for your health. But I'm just lazy and don't have enough time. So great ideas. Thank you, Flo. I'm glad you like this stuff. Maybe you could implement some of this like in your 3D creations. Oh, yeah, I actually remembered just now I had a question come in on Instagram. Let me find it. Yeah, so Mortariel asked me how the duet with Liv Christine came true, how you've met and offered her to create a song together. Yeah, so first we met actually at one of her shows in Moscow. She's super nice and she always comes out to greet the fans after the show. And so Sergey and I just came up to her and said hi and took a photo and, talked about music and said that we had a band and that was that for a while. Like she meets a lot of people, I'm sure, and I think she actually remembers a lot of them, but I'm not sure if she remembered us at that point. But when we were planning the album, we actually thought that Cold Stars would be like a really, really cool song if we like upgraded it a little bit and made it into a duet. So we've been thinking, like, whom could we like invite to sing it? Should it be a female singer or a male singer? And actually, around that time, I saw one of Liv's collabs with some like power metal bands. I think, not sure what their name was, but I was like, that's an interesting idea. I wonder if we could like connect with her somehow. And then I remembered that my friend Michael Spigos, who has a radio show, on Facebook, I often repost or react to his posts about the show. And by the way, there will be an interview with Michael soon. And so I messaged him. I remember that he actually interviewed Liv quite a few times, and he later told me that she was like an actual friend of his. And so I asked him if he could maybe connect us somehow, maybe introduce us. And he talked to Liv, and she was open to like collaboration ideas and all that stuff. And so I emailed Michael, her husband, who manages all the business kind of thing and, all the arrangements. We talked for a bit, and I sent him the song, and he showed it to Liv, and she really liked it, and also started emailing with me. And we talked a bit about my ideas and their like timeline and her ideas and all the arranging the stuff. And her version actually a little bit different from what I imagined, but it's actually better. I thought that we could sing in like a third, so close interval, but in the end she recorded one line in unison with my voice and another up high, an octave higher, and added a fifth in the bridge, and it sounds really, really great. And also, she added the last bit in the song. If you listened to the solo version of Cold Stars as well as the duet, you can hear that the solo version doesn't have this repetition from the first chorus that goes into the outro, but the duet version has. And it was like a really, really sweet moment because when she sent me the files she recorded, she told this, "I hope I'll see you again. It's for you, Alexandra." And I'm like, "Oh my God, it's so sweet." Yeah, so she's really, really sweet and nice and just a great person to work with. Apart from being a great singer and truly a dream come true. So I think it turned out just like beautifully amazing, brilliant and all. В концовке она прям очень в тему спела, чувственно получилось. Yeah, yeah, it's really, it really suits the song. Yeah. So yeah, that's how we created the duet together. Like one person asked in the comments, like, did you, arranged for her to come to Moscow, or did you go there? We're like, my friend, there's such a thing. It's called the internet. You can talk to people there, and you can send files and discuss things and all that stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. Do many people actually travel to record together? Filming together is a different thing, obviously, because sometimes you really need to be in the same space with a person if you want to film with them, not just make some CGI or montage or whatever. But recording, I think, like maybe 90% of recorded collaborations, feats, and duets probably made just online, I think. What do you think? В конце, когда вокальные партии как бы сходятся, звучит просто волшебно, аж мурашки похожи. О, спасибо, спасибо, я рада. Это наша Таня. Our Tina, the guitarist, joined the chat. She says that it gives her like goosebumps. It's great. I'm happy that my musicians enjoy my music, Oh, it's so nice. So, I guess if it were an interview, I would be asked what are next plans. And like I mentioned, first we're going still to push Cold Stars on you guys harder and harder. I know all of you probably have listened to it a bunch of times and it's really great. But you're gonna have to bear with me for a little bit because the algorithms seem to like this song, and it's doing pretty well both on Spotify and on YouTube and other platforms. So, like I said, there will be a lyric video, and then there will be a sing-through video, just with me, the solo version. And actually, I'm considering making a piano version, like I did with Songs of Ice, because this song actually sounds pretty good just with the piano as well. So maybe if I have the time, I will make another one. So many videos for this song to come yet. And then we're already planning our next shoot. This one probably won't involve as much CGI and 3D and all the virtual stuff. However, it's going to be a tricky shoot, and I have to prepare some interesting contraptions and my brilliant inventions for this shoot. We'll see how it goes, and I will keep you posted on Patreon and Coffee, guys. Of course, everybody is welcome there. Yeah, so there will be another single and then another one, probably with a lot of, again, 3D and virtual settings and all the good stuff. So I'm not sure how our timeline will look. But I'm hoping that I will manage to release the next single in mid-July, and the one after that sometime in August or maybe early September. And then we will see how it goes, of course. But then in October, the third single will probably come, and then around the end of October or November, the album will finally arrive, though it's just like a very, very approximate timeline for the moment. And of course, there might be some delays because of all these complicated video stuff, and because we also have to upload the audio to streaming platforms like 3-4 weeks in advance. And I also would like to have the videos ready for that. So there's quite a bit of delay going on for it to all, be prepared and ready, and, just, the managing things kind of side of things. Yeah. Oh, Dirk, going to work. Bye. Yeah, I'm actually going to wrap up soon. Thank you so much for coming and for all your support. It's been nice to have you here. Okay, so guys, if there are no more questions, it's been really cool seeing you, and I hope it was interesting for you to watch the behind the scenes of Cold Stars and all the nerdy things, nerdy nerds. Enjoyed watching. So I will see you in our next posts on the socials and on Patreon and Coffee. And if you'd like to support Ad Astra and you haven't already, you're always welcome to join. And thank you very much to everybody who has already joined the campaign. You guys are awesome. Oh, John, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed the music and the videos both. Okay, thank you guys. You have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye.